6 wins in a row for the Dodgers as they sweep the Pirates. Plus, Shohei Ohtani back pitching for the Dodgers before the end of the week. All this and more right now on the All Dodgers podcast. What's up, everybody? Welcome into the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Podcast Network, presented by FanDuel. My name is Jeff Spiegel, and tonight I am joined by Clint Pasillas, here to break down all of the latest Dodgers news as, again, they sweep the Rockies, they sweep the Pirates. It's 6 wins in a row for the boys in blue, Clint, with a day off tomorrow before a series in Atlanta and then a series in Detroit. They haven't lost since the last Sunday night show.
Yeah, we fixed everything. I think that's the way it goes.
Exactly.
The difference a week makes for this team and for everybody's souls. Good, I wouldn't say command. Whatever. We'll say a commanding hold of that second first round bye over the Braves. And, like you mentioned, coming up to play the Braves for 3. I really like being in the driver's seat, being in control of our own destiny. It just feels a lot better.
Yeah, as we currently sit here and record this live, the Braves are up 3-1 in the 6th. If the Braves were to win that game, the Dodgers would be 1 game behind Milwaukee for the number 1 seed. They would be 4 games ahead of Atlanta for the number 2 seed as well. So might be a nice little sweet spot with 3 games in Atlanta coming up. As always, want to say thank you to everybody that's hopping in here live with us on YouTube, those watching after the fact, listening after the fact via podcast. We appreciate each and every one of you as well. We're going to talk sweep. We're going to talk Blake Snell continuing to look absolutely awesome since returning. We'll talk Shohei Ohtani, some big injury updates via Dave Roberts today. Tyler Glasnow as well. We'll do a little bit of Braves preview, and I also want to talk about the bullpen, confidence cactus, whatever you want to get, whatever words we want to use to describe that. But, Clint, we have to start with the sweep. The Dodgers sweep the Pirates. They're now 6 in a row in the win column. And this comes, it's now, I believe it's like a 13-game stretch or something like that since that horrific losing streak that felt like it was never going to end. How much of this is they're playing bad teams for you, and how much of this is the Dodgers looking like the Dodgers?
I mean, it's a blend for sure, but I feel in my heart of hearts it's more the latter. They hit a low, losing that series with the Braves when they're supposed to win. Whenever I'm on vacation, they decided not to. But I had been maintaining, that Rocky series just could not have come at a more perfect time. Being in Colorado, this team just needed to feel good. Yeah. And that absolutely made them feel good. Shohei waking up in that series a little bit, getting Max going, Max continuing to go, also getting the Dodgers territory bump is what I'm calling it. But yeah, they're doing a lot of the little things right. Not everything has been perfect. There's still room to improve. Obviously, losing Andy Pages, we did not do a show. No, wait, we did do a show after losing Pages, but learning more about Pages and all that.
Late on Thursday night, it wasn't immediate. So.
No, Friday. Yeah, Kevin and I did a pretty, or what's the other guy? The other guy that's not Kevin. Pop did a pretty thorough look into with the news and assuming Alek Thomas, who was already, I think, higher on everybody else's trust tree over Kyle Tucker. Yeah. But even Tuck, a couple of base knocks, couple of ribbies in this homestand, short homestand. Again, I think a lot of things are trending in the right direction for this team. And as you mentioned at the top of the show, which we will eventually get into, getting a lot of arms back. You just keep and Will Smith back at some point soon. Yeah. Keep trending in the right direction.
Yeah, it's kind of the recipe. I mean, you mentioned Muncy, by the way. They said this on the broadcast. He's now top 10 in the National League in OPS this season. It feels like having a very quiet, awesome season for the Dodgers, and I think Dodgers fans appreciate him. But even as a Max Muncy enjoyer, Clint, I was surprised to hear that the season had been that good. And there's probably a bunch of caveats of guys who have qualified and blah, blah, blah. But to be a top 10 hitter in the National League, I'm not sure a lot of people would have predicted that for Max Muncy.
And what's funny, I'm not here just going to keep shamelessly plugging us talking to him on Thursday on Dodgers Territory. Check it out. Link in the description below. But he had told us, it's funny because I'm just kind of putting up the normal numbers I usually do. He's just healthy. And that's the big thing. We're seeing the cumulative numbers over, 100 and whatever 30 some odd games now. You're actually seeing that instead of him only playing 90 to 110 games. So that's what makes it even better that he can qualify and be in that top 10. But he's just like he's so he's so quiet in his he's a ninja, man. He's the Dodgers ninja in that lineup, and I love that man deeply.
120 games played so far for Muncy. I Bleav today would have made 121, actually. So that's the most since 2023. In 22 and 23, played 136 and 135. So almost assuredly will better both of those marks. 144 is the career high. That's from 2021. So again, very much in play that he could set a new career high in games played. Obviously, knock on the wood, cross all the fingers and toes, whatever you Bleav in there. But again, the Dodgers sweep the Pirates is sort of the headline here. We're going to get into Blake Snell in just a little bit, but I think the thing that I appreciated about this series, Clint, was it just felt like a Dodgers type series because it was the entirety of the lineup. Once again today, it was guys at the bottom, Thomas and Fiducia both having RBI hits. Thomas had an RBI hit last night. The bullpen, Alex Vesia, sort of an initial walk, notwithstanding, Enriquez was perfect. Stewart was perfect. Vesia gets the job done. So it just felt, other than like maybe missing the long ball, because that also feels very Dodgers-esque, it just felt like this entire series was guys starting to play up to the level of expectation.
Yeah, and again, even Mookie doing a little bit. I mean, he's not as hot as he was at this time a year ago, but he's chipping in. He's contributing to the lineup. Even Teo with his struggles, he still had an RBI knock today, surrounded by a whole bunch of strikeouts. I know the people are concerned about Teoscar Hernandez. Already seen somebody in the chat, Cole by Cole, saying it's time to sit Teo and play Alex Call. I don't think this team does that. I don't think Dave Roberts does that. I think when you're winning, and they're winning playing some bad teams, we could say that much. But when you're winning, you can keep just riding him out there, and hopefully he finds something. Hopefully he finds something that clicks or good vibes or whatever it is, and play that, run that, roll that into the playoffs. But to your point, Vesia, I'm not gonna lie, I was a little worried.
Yeah, I want to get your thoughts. I want to get your thoughts on the bullpen as a whole a little bit later. But again, Dodgers win 4-0 today. It's a Mookie Betts RBI ground out in the first, Alec Thomas and Hunter Fiducia RBI singles in the fourth, and then Max Muncy an RBI ground out in the fifth. That's all they needed. Dodgers pitchers allowed just 2 hits, 4 walks, 10 strikeouts. And the headline on the pitching side of things is Blake Snell. The domination for this guy continues. 6 innings, 2 hits, no runs, 3 walks, 6 strikeouts. Since coming back, this was the stat that as I was looking this up, I could not believe. In 18 innings, he's allowed just 7 hits and has struck out 21. Now, I know he has 7 walks. I think he's hit a couple of guys. But striking out 3 times as many guys as you have given up hits to is a pretty remarkable thing for, again, a guy that this is not abnormal for. Like, he has this in his bag, and he says he's healthy.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't exceptionally happy with his outing today. He said he needs to kind of read and react to what a lineup is doing to him, what a team is doing to him. But again, luckily it's the Pirates. But since this dude has come back from injury the second time, he has been phenomenal. And how tough is it for Pittsburgh to go Yamamoto, Skubal, then into Blake Snell, all 4 Cy Youngs and 1 eventually Cy Young Award winner. Snell
4 Cy Youngs, and then the guy who's probably the best of the 3 is the other guy.
Yeah, and the World Series MVP. Yeah, Snell is we're seeing the guy that we're seeing Cy Young Snell. That's the reality of what we're seeing right now. Like, this dude is an ace. He is elite. He's got the velo. We know the walks are going to be there. They are always going to be there. Yeah. But he's able to break off just any pitch he wants in any count. And it has been impressive to finally see like fully healthy Snell for the first time in his parts of 2 seasons. We've seen a very little amount of him over the course of the first 2 seasons, but this is far and away the best, the most locked in, the most disgusting we have seen Blake Snell. And it's a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun watching him pitch. I love watching this whole series, of course, to go back to the sweep and all that. Watching, three of the best in the business to do it, and the way they do it. I had opined on Friday because Yamamoto's start was fantastic, and I was like, listen, I love Kershaw, but his starts were kind of boring because you knew you're going to get, two pitches plus the curveball a whole bunch. Seeing somebody like the mechanic, going back to old school Maddox, like somebody thinking against a hitter and reading and reacting to what a batter is doing. It's just a lot of fun to watch, and it's scary to think about in about a month and change when this team gets to the postseason, that rotation.
Yeah. Well, I was going to say, if hypothetically this were First Take and we were talking about the Dodgers on ESPN and you had one game and your life depended on it tomorrow, every Dodgers starting pitcher is rested. Yamamoto, is he still number one, or like the version of Snell that we have gotten over the last three starts? Is he starting to creep up into he might be the best pitcher on this staff?
Well, if this is ESPN, I don't think we're allowed to answer first. I think it's got to go to Pat McAfee, and then he just takes over the show.
Yeah. What does AJ Hawk think?
There is no right answer. There's no wrong answer. Before that they even traded for Skubal, I was saying I want to see Snell in game one. And it's not because it's not, not at all against Yamamoto. It's not an indictment on Yamamoto. I just think, kind of being able to throw Yamamoto in game two sounds scary for another team, kind of sneak up on them, because every team that's making the playoffs has an ace. And we know Blake Snell can go toe to toe with anybody. I that much said, I think it will still end up being Skubal. You trade for him; he's your big ticket guy, and I think it's going to get even more scary when you have Blake Snell starting game three to break up the left-handers. That's what I feel. Well, how do you feel that? Like if gun to head, postseason starts tomorrow, everybody's rested and healthy. Who's your 1, 2, 3?
I mean, it's interesting that you mentioned Skubal, because through the first inning of yesterday's game, I was like, First Take was like, is Skubal on the playoff roster? Was what they were about to lead with.
Lost the trade.
And then he just simply went and struck out 10 of the next 15 batters that or 11 of the next 15 batters he faced, or whatever it was, to close out that start, throwing a 100-mile-an-hour fastball to finish off the sixth. And it was like, maybe he tapped into something. So I'm very curious to see what Skubal's next start is, because we finally, as a Dodger, got a taste of like peak Tarek Skubal yesterday. And again, I don't know if that was just like a bad team he was facing. I don't know if something clicked and he found something, or he settled in, or what it was, but he gives up 3 runs and then he becomes dominant. And so I think if you get any version of Tarek Skubal like that is close to the version we thought we were trading for, I agree with you. He's probably the number one guy. And then I like the left, right, left with Yamamoto in the middle. I think the bottom line is what you said. You simply cannot go wrong. And I would say Snell's performance in these 3 starts, all that he has done is he has placed himself in tier 1, I think. Because as much as I love Glasnow, I think Glasnow, who's incredible, and he is dramatically better than like the other options not named Shohei Ohtani, I would not put Glasnow in the Skubal, Yamamoto, and now Snell conversation.
No. And also, I mean, you look back at the numbers. He was in the midst of a fantastic season. The problem is, he only made like 7 or 8 starts. Is returning. We'll talk more about this later. Yeah, talking about Tyler Glasnow. Yeah, he was having a fantastic year, and that's where I would be. He should be in the conversation of those top 3. But you have an ace, 1A, 1B, 1C, and then you have a solid number 2. Yeah. Noah, go ahead and clip that. And then, like to have him, and then even Shohei. I mean, Shohei is somewhere in that midst as well. But the thing is, we need to see them. Now we've seen Blake Snell for enough starts. We've seen him for what now? This was his 3rd start back, 4th start back? 3rd start back. We know that he is in that conversation to be part of the A, 1, 2, 3, or whatever, or however I said it, 1 B, C, D letters, hard word numbers, hexadecimal. And then whatever you get out of Shohei for the next month and Glasnow, that's going to be a fun competition for them to figure out, because not everybody's going to start. And if somebody in the chat was mentioning like looking at a game 7, you can probably not have all of them, but Cole by Cole saying World Series game 7, you have Yamamoto for 3, Skubal for 2, Ohtani for 2, Snell for 2. Probably not all of them, because somebody would have had to start at game 6.
And And then Edwin Diaz getting the last 3 outs. Was that what happened? Did that what's in the chat? No? Okay. Never mind. That's
sources say no.
yeah. I mean, I just can't get over for Snell. 7 hits, 18 innings pitched.
That's crazy.
Like, it's nuts. And again, this is where, like, yes, he has 7 walks in the hit by pitch, but those just don't hurt you as much as base hits do, because everybody moves up a maximum of 1 base if there's anybody on, versus, singles, doubles, obviously, #baseball gets a little more complicated. So Blake Snell, fantastic. Dodgers offense, does just enough. I was looking over this 13-game stretch, since that losing streak. The Dodgers, they're getting close to, they're right a tick under. It's like 4.8 runs per game or something like that. So we've seen one offensive explosion, the 11 runs they scored. Other than that, it's kind of been hovering in that 4 or 5. Yeah. But there was a long stretch, Clint, where we would have been thrilled with 4 or 5 runs for this team. Yeah. And as the pitching gets better, as we approach a world where these guys are all healthy, Glasnow's due back this week. Ohtani, as we're going to talk about in a little bit, could potentially pitch a week from today. 4 or 5 runs sounds great, and if we're going to talk bullpen a little bit later as well. If they can get that group dialed in and find who they can trust and move trusted pieces into the bullpen, yada, 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 I think all of a sudden, the offense does not need to be the best offense in baseball. It just needs to be above average.
And it's not. It is very much not the best offense in baseball. 6 hits today, still leaving a lot to be desired, but the fact that you're doing enough, they are doing enough, just putting enough points on the board to let that starting rotation cook. It feels like very, very old school Dodger baseball right now in a way.
Yeah.
Get them a run and we're good.
How's this for a stat today? Not a single extra base hit in today's baseball game. All singles. How's this for another stat? The Dodgers had 6 hard hit baseballs today against the Pirates pitchers. The Pirates in 9 innings had 1 baseball get hit over 95 miles an hour. I was off of Blake Snell, Enriquez, Stewart, and Vesia. None. But, you looking at let's see, Jared Triolo. It was a force out. He hit a ball 107 miles an hour and made an out. That was the only hard hit baseball that they had. So pretty crazy.
Hit where they is.
Yep, exactly. Exactly. We've got a handful of super chats here, so let's get to some of those. As always, if you want to support the show, leave in a super chat. We will get to those as soon as we can. D-Nation Life. Cue the discussion of Rortvedt fixing Skubal as if he wasn't the best pitcher in baseball. Good win today, though. I've said it before. My absolute favorite narrative from last year was how Ben Rortvedt was the reason that Dodgers pitchers were good at pitching baseballs. As if, nobody was watching Yamamoto and all these guys go to their hit band to call their own pitches for half of the game. It's the best. It's just my favorite. So D-Nation Life, well done there.
Just let him have it. Let him have it.
Yeah.
Ben has this one thing.
Well, and I heard Snell was only good today because Rortvedt was telling Fiducia what to call. So
yeah. Well, I think Rortvedt was pushing buttons into Snell's head so Snell could push the buttons on his hip to tell Hunter. So yeah.
I like that.
Yeah. Rortvedt is actually the manager.
He is. Smurfy with the $5 super chat. How sweep it is. Yama and Snell both go 6 strong. Skubal has his Dodgers coming out party. I just hope Pages really does return in 4 weeks, not holding my breath. 4 to 5 weeks is kind of what we've been hearing. I guess the one good thing is when it is like a bone injury, that feels like a pretty straightforward recovery. It's not like we're waiting for a mysterious back or neck or a hamstring or something, right? Like if we wanted to predict and have certainty about a prediction, I would guess that a bone injury is probably best case scenario, right?
Yeah, and they said he had the surgery today to kind of, I think insert a little screw in there to stimulate the growth a little bit quicker. This is where having that 5 days off, those 5 days off between the regular season and the postseason, I think it would be a little surprising to have him, maybe play in that last series. Where would be concerned is the fact that it is that lead hand. It is
Yeah.
that left hand, so there's a little bit more, grip strength needed as opposed to a top hand. And like I can think back to Will Smith last year with the hand injury, comes back by the division series, is taken over just about every day by that point. He took the foul ball off the right hand, and that hand you just kind of got to like guide the bat a little bit.
Yeah.
This
Just
one you got
follow.
to do a lot of the work. So that's where the fact that it is a bone, yeah, it's you can control that. You can kind of control that healing a little bit more, but lead hand concerning. Lead
Yeah.
hand concerning.
Yeah, and I think that what you were kind of pointing out, I think the timeline of this, where sure the math might add up to where he could be back by the time the postseason begins, but
Yeah.
you don't want the rehab assignment to be the NLDS. Like you would love for him to be able to get. Again, you would love, this isn't going to happen, but you would love for him to get, a week to 10 days worth of at bats prior to being able to return. But I think at this point, the Dodgers will take whatever they can get. And so far, Alek Thomas has made you forget that they're missing their center fielder.
Yeah.
It hasn't necessarily looked pretty, but it's RBI singles in back-to-back games. And we haven't seen him need to flash the leather, but by all accounts, one of the better defenders out in center field, which is why the Dodgers went that route. Did you have strong thoughts about the decision to go with Thomas, who is already on the 40-man roster, who plays a good defensive center field?
Jeff and I had a dialogue about it. Pretty good chunk of the Friday show was about that, and we were both pretty instantaneous about Alek Thomas just because of the ease of plugging him in, and then then you start exploring different paths in the multiverse of do they plug Tommy Edman in center field and maybe bring up what's his name, Alex Freeland or something like that.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ha-Seong Kim, not an option, not a big leaguer. Everybody,
you don't like this 600 OPS down in AAA? That's not doing it for you.
Put that in pen somewhere, not a big leaguer.
You don't think he's going to play the Justin Dean role, though, in come postseason time? They just keep the speed on the end of the bench?
I mean, you could, or it could be Alek Thomas. He's still got some wheels, not as fast as Ha-Seong Kim, but to have an outfielder when you have, not the best defensive outfield on the corners, to have Alek Thomas you could potentially plug in. Yeah. Yeah, let's be very, very nicely. When that last fly ball went to Teo to wrap the game before we hit it, Randy, there's a little bit of the heart was pumping a little bit.
Yeah, it's never easy with those two guys. But yeah, I agree with you. I mean, Earhart and Sirota were the only two guys in the system that if you wanted to call up a somebody who could theoretically play center field for you. And I genuinely am starting to wonder, Clint, like people have pointed out with the 40-man roster and having minor leaguers having a separate CBA from the major leaguers. I wonder if the Dodgers are actually factoring in, if there is a lockout, guys on the 40-man roster can't be around. They can't play. Yeah. If you're off the 40-man roster, you get to go play minor league baseball. So I just wonder if they are slow playing 40-man additions as much as possible because there's a chance that there could be some real consequences. Also, it's worth pointing out that Alek Thomas is a really good defensive center fielder already on the 40-man roster. And had a much better last 3 months in AAA too. The numbers in AAA had not been great, but if you look at the last few months, maybe the Dodgers think they found something.
I think the conversation would have been different if Josue de Paula could play center, but he can't. He could barely defend in the corners, and Godspeed to Jay Hare helping them out.
Yeah.
Or Jay, I should say.
I was going to say, thank goodness Jay Hare isn't the one trying to teach him left field. All due respect to Jay Hare, but
can we have a dialogue? That's a bad beard. Sorry, Jerry. You gotta. I understand. Like somebody told me they were talking earlier at the party I was at. Apparently, his daughter likes it. She's wrong. It's bad beard. That with the piece just doesn't work.
Well, we had D Nation Life, by the way. I'm going out of order here on Super Chats. Said, I had a scary thought today. When Kike retires, is he's going to become the new Jerry Hairston? Bench guy that was there for vibes, weird, eccentric. I don't think Jerry Hairston was like there for vibes, and he definitely wasn't as weird as and eccentric as Kike was when he was a Dodger. I think he's kind of does the eccentric thing now on TV, and I'm not saying he's faking it, but like he didn't have the reputation that Kike has. I cannot imagine Kike on television. That would be tough.
I like for me with Kike, like the time between pregame and postgame, like what is he gonna do? What is he gonna do at that studio in El Segundo? He's
Well, I
not going
just
to know
can't
what to do
imagine
with this
being
ball.
like the producer that's like, hey, Kike, here's what I need from you. Like, there's no chance he's listening to that person. There's no
He's like,
chance.
I think I got this.
Yeah, he would. It would be like 2 weeks, and the producer would be like, "Look, it's me or him. So
Yeah.
take your pick." So,
Producer or director's nightmare for sure.
Court 4 Medical with a couple super chats here. Can't believe this is the longest winning streak. 6 games. Come on, bros. Let's go for a 10-game win streak. And what do you think of Alek Thomas so far? We referenced it briefly, but like somebody sent me, oh, well, like Earhart has a higher OPS in AAA. And I like went and pulled the monthly splits. I was like, yeah, he was hitting 150 for the first 2 months with Oklahoma City. And I think he was hitting like 400 in the month of August down there. So I would be curious if we had internal sources with the Dodgers. I would be curious to know if they think they found something with Alek Thomas. Like there was a swing tweak that they implemented that maybe he's gotten more comfortable with. You can't really take AAA numbers that seriously unless they stink. Then you should take them very seriously. But if it's like an 850 OPS, it's nothing to write home about. But I don't know. I mean, look, the 2 hits have not been, absolutely smoked to the gaps or to the corners, but we're not looking for that. Just put the ball in play and see what happens.
I mean, I feel like I'll speak for myself. I feel like I'm the type of person who complains often enough about wanting to see them, just find some holes, take advantage of an open spot on defense, use different clubs, and a couple of base knocks, couple of ribbies using a hard hit putter down on the ground. That works for me.
I tweeted it yesterday after Kyle Tucker's like what felt like an 86-mile-an-hour ground ball through the first and second baseman, and I was like, look, I'm trying real hard to get optimistic about like an expected batting average of 250 on that ground ball. But I guess, hey, some guys are unlucky. He's been very unlucky this season. And so maybe he just needs the world to sort of even out in his favor.
The other thing I'll say about Thomas is, his pro career, or sorry, I should say his big league career, is not fantastic. The numbers have never been great, but he's had spurts of being a decent enough big league contributor. And that's something I appreciated about him. That we were talking earlier about, like, this is just the most Andrew Friedman type of acquisition. And, he's right now he's playing for potentially taking like Alex Call's spot in the postseason. Who do they like more off the bench with the bat, and more so with the glove and with the wheels? And it might be Thomas over Call. But yeah, I don't care about what you did for us lately, sort of thing. Or I don't care what you've done in the past. What are you doing for us lately? And what he's done is contributed to 2 wins.
Yeah, and I mean, Thomas, like, I laughed when everyone's like, why don't we ever call up our young guys? It's like, to be fair, Alek Thomas is 26 years old. He's not 32, And Alek Thomas, just looking back, like 2022, Alek Thomas was the 18th best prospect in all of Major League Baseball, according to MLB Pipeline. So, I'm not saying he is a prospect. I'm not saying we should compare him to Tibbs and Earhart and Sirota and all these guys, but, and I'm not even saying he's going to be here long term. I'm just saying he is 26. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibilities that the Dodgers could turn him into a league average bat that, plays really good defense in center field and has some speed as well.
Yep.
So, Court 4 Medical with a $20 super chat. We're going to go Earhart. I'm so excited to see this Dodger team in the postseason. Let's just skip to October, where everyone is healthy and the vibes are pumping. What is your postseason rotation, and who is number 1, 2, 3, and 4? We're going to get back. We're going to get to Ohtani here momentarily, but let's operate under the assumption that Ohtani is built up and can give you 5, maybe 6 innings, Clint. Like maybe he's up to a 90-ish pitch count. We mentioned this earlier. Does that change anything for the first 3? When you said you would go Skubal, Yamamoto, Snell? No. Is that still what you would do top 3?
No. If they are healthy, my first 3 are locked in.
Okay.
Some order of Skubal and Yamamoto and Snell, and by some order I mean exactly that order.
But
yeah, the 4, that 4 spot, which you don't necessarily like. I mean,
honestly, it becomes kind of easy because Ohtani can't pitch out of the bullpen.
That's what I was say. It becomes more about really Glasnow needs to get ready to come out of a bullpen and give the team 4 innings.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, he's going to start. Dave said today that he's going to start on Tuesday. He's has no pitch limits or anything like that. So they are plugging him in and he's going full go.
When you hear Dave say he has no pitch limits, so that means what? He's going to throw 75 pitches on Tuesday and be out after 4 for sure?
79. We'll go 79.
There's no chance he's throwing like 98 pitches on Tuesday.
Yeah, but it would not make sense to not have Ohtani in that rotation because you severely limit yourself if he is not a starting pitcher. We're already seeing over the last 2 months and change, we're seeing the limits of not having Shohei in the starting rotation because the cheat code and the Dodgers ruining baseball and MLB coddling the Dodgers before Shohei was a Dodger and saying, he doesn't count or whatever. Yeah, it's you hamstring yourself if he's not in the rotation.
I do love how we all feel like, man, it sucks so much when we don't have that one rule that only benefits us, where Shohei Ohtani can be a starting pitcher and doesn't count as a pitcher. It's like, we're only allowed 13 pitchers now, like everybody else. So, but I'm with you. I think I would do exactly that. You go left, right, Ohtani as the number 4 starter, because it also limits. I think the less. I want Ohtani pitching, but if one of those guys can get a day off, I want it to be Shohei Ohtani. So if you can go 1, 2, if Ohtani can pitch once in a 7-game series and then you can reset your rotation for the following series, that would be ideal for me. And I do think Glasnow could give you value as, again, we have seen it happen out of the bullpen where he was effective. He had multiple games where he got big outs for them in the bullpen, and I kind of feel for him because he's plenty good. He would be like the number 2 in every other postseason rotation that exists. But in this one, if everyone's healthy, sorry, sir.
I mean, some of that just goes to him, and the best of ability is availability, and because he was not available, and other misfortunes along the way, they had to go out and get Tarek Skubal. Oh, I know, poor the Dodgers again. But there's a chance they don't need to make that move if you have a healthy and effective Tyler Glasnow over the course of a full season. But you don't, and I'm sure at the end of the day, him putting a 3rd ring on his hand will still feel better. And he's going to be an important part of the pitching staff. And as we eventually talk bullpen, being able to have him technically be a bullpen factor. I'll say with Shohei in the rotation, on his start days, just to make sure you aren't overextending him and burning him out and taking anything away from the potential of his bat. I don't think I'd go over 65 pitches for him, maybe 75 or something like that. Just take a nice easy 75 pitches, still max effort and all of those. And then behind him, Robles.
That's easy to say when it's 4 innings, 1 hit, no runs, and 7 strikeouts. And Clint's like, all right, let's take him out of the game. Go get Alex Vesey out of the bullpen, Dave. Can we get Vesey out of here?
Well, I don't know about Vesey right now. I don't know if that's the first arm I would go to.
Yeah, I hear you. Jedi Engineer says, imagine 2014 Kershaw and Greinke having guys like this behind them in the rotation. We are truly spoiled. We are spoiled. That's simply to say. Skier loves baseball.
Behind them? Yeah, was that Chris Capuano behind them?
That's a heck of a pull by you, Chris Capuano.
Dodgers legend.
2014.
I'm looking at the 15. I think that was
Billingsley still around?
No, he was gone. Oh God. So here we go. 2015, which is Greinke's last year. You got Kershaw, 33 starts. You guys remember when pitchers used to do that?
Yeah.
Greinke. So 33 starts, 2.13 ERA, 232 innings. Greinke.
So down
1.66 ERA. Down year, bad year. DFA. 32 starts, 1.66 ERA, 222 innings. And then, you ready? Brett Anderson, Mike Bolzinger, Carlos Frias, and Alex Wood. Imagine just one of these dudes.
Yeah. Be great.
One of these dudes.
I mean, and when we say one of these dudes, like Roki Sasaki, who doesn't even get mentioned in Eric Lauer would have been a strong number 3 starter for that Dodgers group, I think. So.
Yeah, if we're being honest. Here's another pull for you. Matt Latos in there. Anybody? Richie's friend.
Padres
Happy birthday,
legend.
Richie. Chris Hatcher.
Oh.
Just part of that. Actually, Hatch had a good year.
I was gonna say, was that the one good year? Was that the one good year Hatcher had when he was throwing 100 mile an hour, and it was just like, all right, I can see something here.
Wow, what a miserable. We rooted for that.
Yeah,
we rooted for that team.
Win?
Where are we at? 92 and 70, and of course lost against the Mets. Lost to the Mets when nobody covered third base.
Fun.
Couldn't be bothered.
Skier loves baseball. Our starting pitching is so dominant and fun to watch that I can almost forget the Lance Lynn elimination game. Almost.
No.
Dodgers legend Lance Lynn. Ray Soto with the $1.99 super chat. No comment, Ray. We appreciate you as well. And then
thank you, Ray.
The cherry on top for our super chats at the moment is none other than Richie Flores. Birthday weekend recap, sweep of the Bucks, standing ovation for Tucker. All Dodger OGs invade the DeVore man cave, and finally gave in to Spiegel's pressure and got the Tucker bobblehead.
Segue.
Yeah, we have Richie.
So you guys remember the back and forth.
If you're on YouTube, we have a picture of the Kyle Tucker bobblehead that Richie owns that he swore to all of us he would never have in his life.
I'm not going to that game. I never want that bobblehead. And then he told the group that somebody sent it to him. After further prodding, he said, "No, I bought it. It was only $38."
Richie, we need an explanation here, my friend.
He's a man of his word, except for he's not.
Which word?
Happy
Which
birthday,
word?
Rich.
I
Mental
won't lie.
toughness.
I was on one text thread with some buddies that involved like an almost weekly update of the eBay price of the Kyle Tucker bobblehead. And so I'll say this, Richie, if you paid $38 for this, you got a bad deal, because that's a lot bigger of a number than the pricing that I saw. I was offered a $25 option to go buy a Kyle Tucker bobblehead. But that's disappointing, Richie. It's your word, Richie. Some people say your word is all you have nowadays. And yet here you are. Here's Kyle Tucker, just, right next to Cesar Izturis on one side. And is that Ohtani on the other?
That's Diaz. So he has.
Diaz,
I should.
Okay.
Yeah, he has all of the bobbleheads per year in order on a shelf, and they're in chronological order and all that of the giveaway. What's great about this is that Tucker is just dead center of his bobblehead collection on that particular shelf, almost out of like the baseball gods were telling him.
Yeah,
Jeff Yu.
Yeah. By the way, Richie, I believe you promised me a bobblehead, and I said bobblehead has not arrived. So, I mean, if we're picking on Ricky a little bit today, I'm just saying, Richie. There you go. Congratulations to Kyle Tucker, though. He did make it into the DeVore man cave. Happy birthday to you, Richie. That's the real point. Happy birthday to you. Happy 37th birthday to our friend Richie. And sounded like a good time over at the DeVore man cave. So there you go.
Yes. Good food, good people. Dodger win. Dodger shutout. What more can you ask for?
Don Davis with the super chat. Which prospective playoff opponent worries you the most? Is it okay if I just say the Brewers simply because having to face Miz ever again at any point? It does, like, I don't care about anybody else on the roster. I just never want to have to face that guy, let alone twice.
Yeah. I mean, by then he's going to have a lot more innings. You worry about him breaking down, but that he's just an absolute animal right now. I don't know if you have to worry about anything outside of him just straight up dominating you. And if it's a short series, which I don't think they would be able to match up in a short series, that would scare me a little bit more. I still, as always, and hopefully nobody clips this and this comes back to bite me in the ass. As always, I feel good about the Dodgers against the Brewers in a 7-game series.
Yeah.
They're built to outlast just every team.
Yeah. They will have, other than Miz, they would probably have a pitching advantage. Maybe Chris Sale over, like, no matter which Dodgers starter was on the mound against every other pitcher that they would face in the National League outside of Miz. So, pretty remarkable stuff. But yeah, there you go. Let's see. Court 4 Medical with another super chat. I am proud to say I don't own any bobbleheads. I like bobbleheads.
My man.
You're an anti-bobblehead guy, Clint?
I have some. I stopped collecting them. I never really collected them because I hate going to Dodger Stadium. It's a nightmare to get there. This Tyler Glasnow was given to me out of spite by Richie and Mrs. Richie for Christmas like last year, and it's there. I don't know. I appreciate. I think I appreciate the minor league bobbleheads a little bit more. I got the Walker Buehler one behind me where he's in a stupid, the Buehler's Day Off car and all that. The Corvette, I think it was. But no, I don't need to collect more stuff.
Yeah,
I got enough stuff.
It is now. Whenever I get a new bobblehead, it's sort of like I have to make room for it. Like we have officially filled up the room that exists, and so now it's like, poor Trey Turner was on the primary shelf right here that has a bunch of levels, and now Trey Turner's over on the windowsill, hanging out with the likes of Hung-Chi Kuo, Adrian Gonzalez, Kenta Maeda, Dustin May. That group is over there, and then you can't see it. I mean, we could just turn. See,
That doesn't make any sense. Oh, look what he did.
Now we're back. So we've got top tier. We've got Ohtani 50-50, obviously Vin, Corey Seager holding the World Series and the MVP trophy, Mookie, Freddie, Roki Sasaki, newly added, and then we got Gagne, Cy Young Award winner, my favorite bobblehead ever. You've got some other guys there's a lot of Kershaws around. Kershaw's over here, Glasnow, but then you go tiered. These are kind of the more curated set. So we've got Koufax. This is my fan favorite one right here. Manny Ramirez, Yasiel Puig, and Hanley Ramirez. That's just an elite shelf right there, if you ask me.
Yeah.
Then we've got Kershaw hitting, one of my favorite bobbleheads down here at the bottom.
I forgot about that one. Yep.
Yeah. More Vin Scully, more Mookie Betts, Cody Bellinger, lots of Ohtani, Freddie Freeman, Will Smith, Walker Buehler, Matt Kemp hanging around.
Yeah,
so.
I got Matthew right there, and another Matthew up there. I guess I'll do the grab and pull. All the guys, all the good ones are up here. Just somebody clip that. I don't know if you remember when they also used to give away the action statues. So we got up there, we got Koufax and Jackie Robinson. We got the Cy Young Award for Kersh right here. We got some signed balls from friends of the show along the way. Hey, maybe when the Dodgers have the bye week, we'll go ahead and me, you, and Pop will do a man cave tour or something like that. We know we don't need to worry about Kevin because what is he going to show us? The spare bed?
Well, we already see the spare bed, I think. So it's we've already seen everything. Cole by Cole says, Jeff, which shelf would Max Muncy go on? It's the top shelf up here is I try and do current players.
Yeah.
So Muncy's great. There are a couple guys. I do have a Yamamoto one, I believe, on its way. Muncy's a great one who I actually don't have. I did just add a Dave Roberts from FOCO holding 2 sweet World Series trophies. So
I have a couple. I think there was a World Series trophy giveaway and a ring giveaway they did this year that Katie Wu was supposed to acquire for me, but I have not heard from her. So Wu, watching you.
Okay, there we go.
We know where you live.
Yeah, exactly. I am Donovan says the only 2 bobbleheads I have are from the 2 fundraisers on Jeff's old channel. Well, thanks for supporting the fundraisers on the old channel. I am Donovan and glad to be here. And thank you for the super chat. Applause to everybody, by the way, for all those super chats. We appreciate you.
I did leave a lot of bobbleheads at the old place. I should have just taken them all.
Should have. Okay, let's get into the other bit of news, which, it's hilarious that it's the other bit of news. That guy, Shohei Ohtani, back potentially
danced around it.
This was the story from Fabian Ardaya and the aforementioned Katie Wu. Ohtani threw a 30-pitch live session against Will Smith on Saturday, his first time facing hitters since his last big league pitching appearance on July 3rd. On Sunday, manager Dave Roberts left open the possibility that Saturday's session could be the last box to check before Ohtani pitches for the Dodgers again. The Dodgers do not have a set starter for Sunday's series finale against the Detroit Tigers. Ohtani starting that game and throwing 1 inning is an option the club is considering, according to multiple sources with knowledge of the club's thinking, who cannot comment publicly because those plans are not finalized. They have, related to this, told Eric Lauer that because of the off days, because of Tyler Glasnow's return, that he will be moving to the bullpen and will become a long reliever. The dots seem very obvious to connect here, Clint, that Shohei Ohtani is going to become a starting pitcher a week from today. He's going to throw 1 inning, and then Eric Lauer is going to basically make a bulk appearance and try and give them 6 innings immediately following that, right? This seems pretty straightforward.
Yeah, and we've seen the Ohtani build up before, and that's pretty much the playbook. You're building him up in season. It's going to feel a lot like a spring training game, except for the bulk guy you have behind is built up to, 5, 6, 7 innings, so he will be ready to go. I don't know, that's the tough part about Shohei. It's you can't take him out of the lineup. You can't send him on a rehab. He's going to figure it out at the big league level. And if that starts next week, I feel like with the entire month of September, that should be enough build up to know kind of, okay, is the knee good? Is the bicep going to hold up? Is any of this going to affect
Yeah.
the swing? Because as we have opined, or I have opined and stated a number of times, the Otani's bat is just so much more important than him being available to give this team 4 innings, maybe if they need him in the postseason. Because if you sweep some series, you don't need a number 4 starter.
Yeah.
You can move some things around. And you
I mean,
have Tyler Glasnow on the outside looking in.
And the nice thing is, timing wise, like if he does in fact start on August 30th and is able to give them an inning, the general buildup is like 1 inning per week. So in theory, that would put you at September 7th, you're at 2 innings, and the 14th, you're at 3 innings, and the 21st, you're at 4 innings. And then all of a sudden, by the end of September, you are at 5 innings, ready to make your next start, potentially as much as 6 innings, which if they could get him to 75 pitches, it is easy to forget that this is a guy who had the best ERA in baseball through like 10 starts so far this year.
Very fair.
Yeah. But it is the other thing I was just going to say real quick about Shohei Ohtani is, has there ever been a Dodger that has like exceeded injury timelines more quickly than Ohtani? Like everybody else, it's like, oh, he'll be out 2 weeks and it ends up being 4. Ohtani, it's like, well, they were thinking of doing another live bullpen, but now he might just pitch in the majors. And it's like, he might miss a couple days. Actually, he's just back in the lineup tomorrow. This guy just makes up his own rules, and they're always better than the ones the Dodgers line out.
Well, I mean, he's also stated that, like, you know, him pitching or throwing to Will Smith and company yesterday, that happened like 4 hours before the game. So to have to ramp up and then cool down and have that time in between and then get ready for, you know, 9 innings as the DH, even if you are the DH, just the DH, and you are Shohei Ohtani and all that, you're the GOAT, you're the unicorn, whatever, that's still stressful, you know. It's more of a strain as opposed to, all right, let's just get it all done. Your live BP is going to be against the bad guys, and this game means something, but let's just get it out of the way now. Might as well.
Yeah. Speaking of that, looking to sponsor of the show, FanDuel, for some MVP odds with the possibility of Shohei Ohtani coming back and pitching potentially, you know, if you just do the math, let's say he gets 20 more innings pitched over the course of like 5 build-up starts. The odds, Pete Crow Armstrong still significant favorite, -185, Ohtani +150. And it's interesting to me because I just wonder, like, does 20 innings pitched for Shohei Ohtani, 20 more innings pitched, does that move the needle at all when it comes to the MVP debate, do you think, Clint?
If they were going to be like full starts, if you could pencil in 4 or 5 innings for each of those, I think it would move more of a needle. But if he does come out and absolutely dominate as he's ramping up, you know, I think it's going to also take a little bit of a cool down from PCA to change the hearts of voters right now. But I feel like what we're seeing on the screen is you know, pretty accurate. It's a 2-horse race, and the horse is going to win over the unicorn. Because there's Shohei fatigue, and PCA has had a really nice year. You know, that's just the reality. He's got more stolen bases. They're pretty much neck and neck with homers. Plays incredible defense in center field. He's just unlikable enough, but also likable to some.
Yeah,
Shohei would need to do some magic on the mound. Do you think he can do? Do you think he can do anything to kind of change the minds?
It's a fascinating thing because we have typically been able to make MVP decisions on basic, very binary sort of statistics, where it's like, well, this hitter has a higher weighted runs created plus than this hitter. You know, this person's WAR is higher than this person's WAR. But now you're looking at 2 guys that, for all intensive purposes, are essentially equivalent as hitters. Ohtani has a higher OPS. Pete Crow Armstrong has a slightly higher weighted runs created plus. Armstrong has 2 more home runs. He has 23 more steals. That's a significant thing. They have the exact same number of RBIs. Like, you just go up and down, and it's like, offensively, let's just call it a push. Maybe slight edge to Pete Crow Armstrong. Well, now we have to compare, how do you value a guy who is the best defensive player at arguably the most important defensive position on the baseball field, which is center field in Pete Crow Armstrong, versus a guy in Shohei Ohtani, who also happens to pitch, but hasn't pitched that much. Like, likely will end up around 100 to 105 innings pitched this year. By the way, they've been incredible. 1.79 ERA, lest you forget, for Shohei Ohtani so far. But how you add all of those pieces up is what makes it interesting. I mean, according to Fangraphs WAR, Pete Crow Armstrong is 1.4 wins more valuable than Shohei Ohtani, the totality of the player, hitter plus pitcher. Yeah. So I'm not saying I agree with that. I feel like I have been the arguer that being able to do what Crow Armstrong is doing defensively in center field probably is underrated by the average baseball fan. And yet, like, I have no way to compare a guy throwing 105 innings to a guy playing elite center field defense. What do you do with those two things?
Ultimately, this comes down to these people are going to be voting with. I don't even know if it's voting with their hearts, but it's going to be voting with not even popularity. It's going to be ancillary things. It's going to be non-statistic things because they both have their value. And it's really easy to say that, yeah, Shohei being a pitcher, even if he didn't pitch for much of the second half, nobody else is pitching and hitting. But also he has 4 MVPs already in his career. And it's probably going to win a third World Series ring here, as where PCA is somebody different.
Yeah.
And he's also at the same time having a very, very good year.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, by the way, if you go and look at, Baseball Reference wins above replacement, it's pretty much the same story. Ohtani is a full win below Pete Crow Armstrong. They actually have Christopher Sanchez as ahead of Shohei Ohtani, the totality of the player, which is interesting over on Baseball Reference. So I do think the ultimate tiebreaker will be, well, has one of these guys won it a bunch of times and the other guy hasn't? And so I think the odds reflect that. The odds make total sense to me from that regard. But again, I would not put it past like Ohtani being able to go on a little bit of a tear offensively. And if he comes back and gives up like 2 earned runs in 20 innings and the ERA is like 1.65 with 100 innings pitched, like I think it's, I find it, I'll put it this way. I think Pete Crow Armstrong being the favorite makes sense to me. And I am surprised that the gap is as sizable as it is, with the possibility, the real possibility of Ohtani coming back and pitching.
Yeah, the thing is, Shohei can earn his way still to this MVP. It might come down to whoever finishes with more homers. You know what? He's PCA is at 32 right now, and I don't know what he did today. And and both of them are on a little bit of a batting average cold spell. You got PCA hitting under 280 now, Show hitting under 290. You get one of these guys finishing over 300 with 35 or 40 homers. Let's say Shohei can go on a tear. If he gets 40 and pitches, over the course of the month of September and is able to, strike some dudes out and look absolutely dominant like he was over his first 10 starts, then he's going to be like, listen, there was the flavor of the month. I swear she meant nothing. It was always you, baby boo. And it'll be Shohei winning another MVP.
Yeah.
So it's going to be that's going to be fun to watch.
Yeah, I agree. So again, Shohei Ohtani potentially going to be back with the Dodgers as soon as Sunday as a pitcher. Obviously, he's never left as a hitter, but could be pitching like 1 inning next Sunday with presumably Eric Lauer coming up behind him. So the other topic, 2 more topics I want to hit quickly before we close this show out. The first is, can we get a confidence cactus update? I sent this out on Twitter, Clint. Like, I think there's 4 guys that I trust right now. And I think it is Tanner Scott, and then I think it's Enriquez, Dreyer, and I'll throw Brock Stewart in there because he's looked good whenever he's been alive and pitching for the Dodgers. There's those 4, and then it's a cliff. I've said I think Evan Phillips has looked better his last 4 or 5 appearances. The home run ball seems to have gone away a little bit. He has not looked as dominant as peak Evan Phillips, but I think it's 5 appearances in a row without an earned run, or at least without a home run. So Phillips might be lurking, but I mean, Vesia continues to be a mess. Paul Gervais exists. Kyle Hurt, as much as you and I would love for Kyle Hurt to be a guy, he has not been that guy. So on one hand, I guess if I can ask a terrible question here, on one hand, having 4 guys I trust feels like more guys than I trusted a week ago. On the other hand, there's some interesting names on that list.
Getting Brock Stewart back, I think, has been very instantaneously better. Dave has somebody he can trust that throws with their right arm. Henriquez has been also like, I think he is seizing the opportunity that's in front of him. He's aware that the confidence is down, way down, and rightfully so with somebody like Kyle Hurt. Um, you know, things aren't looking great right now with Alex Vesia. He will eventually, hopefully knock on desk here, figure some things out. But I pretty much co-sign with your top four. Scott, give me Tanner Scott, give me Brock Stewart, Henriquez, Dreyer, and then the field. And the last really two outings for Evan Phillips, after that 2-run homer that he served up on whatever day it was, I think Wednesday. He's looked a lot better. You're seeing him find a little bit more command, a little bit more location, I should say, which is just going to make the sweeper that much better. So you're getting closer to having a few branches if we're going back to a tree, or a few more prickers if we're sticking with the cactus. A little, I don't know how to do the arms. It's more like walk like an Egyptian sort of thing.
Well,
they're in a decent spot.
And I would say, if you look up and down the 40-man roster at the list of guys that could potentially realistically come back at some point this season, Blake Trinan is a person who exists. I don't think anybody believes in Blake Trinan. Well, Dave Roberts, we all know, believes in Blake Trinan. But, I mean, Chris Bubich is a guy we're expecting back at one point. But one name that nobody has been talking about that all of a sudden popped on the radar is Jake Cousins, who, Jake Cousins in 2024 made 37 appearances for the Yankees and had a 2.37 ERA with a 1.05 WHIP. His career ERA across 88 appearances is 2.78. So, I mean, that's not nothing for a guy who has 125 strikeouts in 90 innings for his career. Like that, the Dodgers just stack. It's like him, it's Bubich, like it's these guys where it's like, yeah, I mean, they might never pitch. It's the Danny Duffy scholarship, as I think I saw somebody call it. Maybe it was Chad Moriyama on Twitter. It's like the Danny Duffy scholarship. Yeah. But like those two guys, obviously Edwin Diaz is somebody who could come back. Will Klein is technically on the injured list, and then you've got the starters that could filter their way into the bullpen. But again, I just keep saying it. We said it with the starting rotation. It's starting to come to fruition. I think the relievers, you could say, the roadmap to a healthy confidence cactus exists. It exists. Whether it comes true, we'll see, but it exists.
Yeah, and knowing that, we got 40-man we got rosters expanding in 10 days, less than 10 days. I think that is when, if not sooner, when they will pull again the Seth Halverson lever.
I was going to say Seth Halverson, another name.
Because I think that's somebody that all of us really want to be something. I've been real give him a chance. Yeah, he looked good in his one outing. And if he's somebody you don't expect him to, slot in at the top of the cactus or whatever, but just somebody else who can give you somebody better than Kyle Hurt right now, somebody that can give you more consistency. And I know everybody knows I love Kyle. Kyle's dad knows I love Kyle, but he's not it right now. You need somebody that you can consistently throw out there, and more so is going to consistently give you strikes. Even if it's not always the best stuff. And Kyle is just Hurt and Vesia are doing kind of the same thing right now, where they do not always know where the fastball is going, and nothing else works if you can't locate. You can't tunnel if you can't locate.
Well, Vesia, to the guy he struck the first out that he got, he just kept spamming the slider. And I'm like, what are we doing? And it's like, oh yeah,
it was getting him in the zone.
The fastball's going.
Yeah. And you see that was like early season Roki, where he started developing that slider a little bit, started feeling comfortable with it. And when he didn't have his fastball, he was using the slider just to steal a strike. But you can't do that. You can't live that way, especially Roki trying to be a starter. You can't live that way. You're going to have a bad time. And that's just kind of where we're at with Hurt and with Vesia. You need to have the as my boy D-Mac says, if you want to be the man, you got to have the command. And they do not have it right now.
Yeah. I see Cole by Cole in the chat asking if guys have to be on the 40-man roster by a certain date to be eligible. The rule, as I understand it, is you just have to be in the organization by September 1st, I believe it is.
Yeah.
So as long as you are in the Dodgers overall system, not necessarily on the 40, you're good to go. So, okay. Last thing
Sheehan,
before.
by the way, I was going to say quickly to mention, Sheehan is another guy. Really, I think it was like 6 innings, allowed a hit today at AAA. Somebody else who could, if you could figure out how to, plug into the bullpen
Yeah.
as well, will be in that mix. They need arms. They are hiring. They are currently hiring for arms.
Yeah.
Anyways.
I looked at Sheehan's numbers and I'm just like, the fastball was still 94 today. I'm like, I know you can get outs against AAA and that means something. And I'm trying not to, but it's like, I think he had, like, it was at the time I looked, I think he got 9 swings on his slider and he got seven whiffs on it, or it was 7 whiffs on 8 swings or something. And it was just like,
That's a shame.
man, until the fastball's good, it's just not gonna be it for Emmett Sheehan. So I hope I'm wrong. I like Emmett Sheehan. Real quick though, let's talk Braves. Dodgers Braves preview. I believe somebody in the chat said the Braves are now up 4-2 in the top of the ninth with 2 outs to go. So the Brewers will come to hit in the bottom of that, which would again make the Dodgers just a game back of the Brewers and 4 games up on the Braves. Glasnow, Sasaki, and Yamamoto set to pitch for the Dodgers. I believe Chris Sale has been avoided. I believe he's slated to pitch in the series immediately following the Dodgers when they go ahead and face the Rockies. So Glasnow versus Elder, Sasaki versus Smith-Shawver, and Yamamoto versus old Dodgers friend Grant Holmes is the current probable pitchers according to ESPN. So nice little opportunity for the Dodgers to extend the breathing room here. I know it's on the road, but when you've got Glasnow, Sasaki, and Yamamoto, and you don't have to face Chris Sale, anything short of 2 out of 3 to me, Clint, feels like a disappointment.
Yeah, I agree with that. You're in a position to pretty much cement your spot. Starting Tuesday, cement your spot to make sure you have that bye. But in this series, they're also kind of the Dodgers are taking some opportunities to learn some things, because we have not seen Tyler Glasnow since the first week or second week of May. So you're getting eyes on him. Hopefully he doesn't have a stinker. Hopefully something doesn't blow up or pop on him in that back. And then Roki, it's just continuing to do what you've been doing. This will be the biggest test that he's had. I believe in the second half, with all due respect to the Yankees and the Mets, this is by far the biggest test that he has had. So this is really the prove it game for me for Roki. Like all of the stuff we've been watching is real. It is legit. I guess he got to start in there against Arizona. Milwaukee was good. So, okay, I'll give him the Milwaukee as well. So this is the second legitimate start he is making against a postseason team. Let it eat, kid. And then who'd you say again on the Thursday game?
Smith-Shawver is who he's facing. Is that what you're asking?
No, for the final game.
Oh, Yamamoto.
Oh, Yamamoto, Chris Sale. That's what I got here on MLB probables.
Okay, so then ESPN maybe has it off. ESPN had Holmes, and I would not trust that ESPN for what it's worth. So maybe they don't avoid Chris Sale.
They might not, and if not, that's going to be a really good game right there. Chris Sale. It's going to be a good series. So Dodgers take 2 or 3. I'm upsetting my dog about it apparently again.
I was going to say. So there you go. So ignore everything that I said about Chris Sale, because MLB is projecting, which is far more likely. So he last pitched on the 21st. So that would make some sense.
And they're a 5-man rotation. Yeah.
So there you go. So Dodgers will not avoid Chris Sale. Ignore all things that I said that otherwise to that. But but the first two, you're going to have the game 1 with Glasnow making his return, and game 2 with Roki, Sasaki, and then it's Yamamoto versus Sale, which is going to be just like absolute cinema on Thursday's game. So
absolute potatoes.
Yeah.
So this is obviously right now Dodgers riding a 6-game winning streak against not the best of teams. What do you need to see to believe in what we're seeing with the team right now?
Yeah,
what do you need to see in this series?
We talked about this earlier in the week. The Dodgers' schedule from here on out is, I believe, the easiest in the National League. It's the 26th hardest schedule remaining. That included the series against the Pirates, whereas the Braves have, I believe it's like the second hardest or third hardest schedule in all of Major League Baseball. Them and the Cubs, incredibly difficult runs. So I think if you're the Dodgers, Braves and Tigers are 2 of the better teams you're going to face. On the road trip, all that. But this sets up nicely if you're the Dodgers. Like, you like At this point, you like all of your starting pitchers, but you like all 3 starters that you're going to throw out there. You're coming off an
Yep.
off day on Monday. You had another off day last Thursday. The bullpen is well rested. So I think if you're the Dodgers, can you maintain the momentum against this team? And to me, it ultimately I think the confidence that people have is ultimately going to come down the offense. I'm not saying the offense is going to be the reason they go and win, but I'm saying the vibes around this team, the confidence that fans have, that the comment section has for this team is, yeah, we know the starting pitching is going to be good. Who knows with the bullpen? But like, if they feel good when Mookie Betts or Kyle Tucker or, someone not named Max Muncy, Shohei Ohtani, or Freddie Freeman steps into the box, I think it's going to change the entire vibe. So I would love to see this offense continue to just stack 5-run performances against some of these teams that they play.
Yeah. Yeah, could not agree more. Have everybody kind of chip in where you can. I need to see Show get going again. Didn't necessarily have a fantastic showing against the Pirates with I think an 0 yesterday, or was that Friday, and then an 0 today with a walk. I want to see Shohei get it going against the Braves. Let's focus on, let's get the 40, let's get the 300, let's get to an on base percentage of 600 somehow.
Yeah,
let's go out there and win that MVP.
Yeah, absolutely. So again, pitching staff starting to come together for the Dodgers. Glasnow on Tuesday, Ohtani potentially on Sunday. So they've kind of, all of the extras have been removed from the Dodgers rotation for the time being. Eric Lauer is still going to be kind of a bulk relief guy. Roki Sasaki still very much in the mix for the Dodgers. And Will Smith took live batting practice against Shohei Ohtani. Could potentially be going on a rehab assignment. I believe Dave said that if he did a rehab assignment, it wouldn't be until September. Is that right? Or was he saying September would be a return to the Dodgers? But potentially could see Will Smith on a rehab assignment in the next week or so, which would be a huge deal if he could take a couple weeks and, a week to 10 days in Oklahoma City and then be back with the big league club to learn from Ben Rortvedt on how to call games and, sequence pitches and stuff like that. That would be huge for the Dodgers offense.
It's funny. According to sources, actually, Rortvedt is Will Smith's hero as well.
There you go. It's nice to know. Folks, we appreciate everyone joining. If you are a fan of what we are doing, I see 572 people in here on a Sunday night. Thank you so much. If you are a fan and have not already joined the Patreon, patreon.com/realfrg gives you an opportunity to support the show in a unique way. The most efficient way that you can support the show and help us to keep this thing financially sustainable. Head there. $5 a month is the minimum. You can pay more if you would like to, but $5 a month is the minimum. Also gives you access to the All Dodgers Discord, where there is a perpetual chat going on, especially during Dodgers games, but also during off.
Love that.
There's
chat.
All sorts of channels. There's somebody AI'd Brent Honeywell's hair onto my head, which has become a personal favorite of most people.
So good.
So you're missing out on that. $5 a month, it could be yours. Of course, YouTube membership's also an opportunity. And if you can't do either of those, we get it. Like, subscribe, ring the notification bell here on YouTube. That is free. Or go find us via podcast, Apple, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts. Subscribe, rate, and review. There's me there you go. That screenshot is everything you need in your life. Me and Brent Honeywell. That's Jeff Honeywell right there.
Yeah.
So Jeff Honey Speaks is right there.
Someone also made a wonderful image of Jeff Snyder and his love affair for Handsome Ben.
Yeah.
So
by the way, I kept saying Bank Fitness, and it was like, no, that's Handsome Ben. And then we realized that his last name really is Bank.
Bank. Yeah.
Or however you pronounce it.
Listen. This is it's the type of weird crap you get in when you're growing a weird community, and you have to be weird to want to hang with us every night and survive 162 games of a regular season and 8 months of spring training and into a postseason and then all the off season stuff. It's cool, and see how far that group, that Discord, this family has come since starting this channel. The day Shohei Ohtani signed, it's insane. It's really insane. It does not go unnoticed and unappreciated. You guys being here with us every night, people being upset when we have something pops up in life and we can't be here on a night. We try our best to be here every day we can, and you guys make it awesome to do so.
Yeah, absolutely. So By the way, the Braves did officially win. The Brewers had runners on first and third and hit into a double play, which I'm not sure what a double play is. I don't think I've seen one in my life, but
No,
apparently it's
no.
a play where they get 2 outs at the same time. The ball gets
I
hit
don't know
and
what that
there's 2 outs. Yeah, yeah.
Speaking
I'm
gibberish.
gonna Google it as soon as we close the show. That is Clint Pasillas. My name is Jeff Spiegel. Thanks again, everybody, for hopping in and joining us here.
I see you, Ben. Handsome
Yeah.
Ben.
Oh, there we
Handsome
go.
Chris just popped in. He popped in the chat.
That's
Ready to make
amazing.
a show appearance.
Yeah. He's ready. Don't get Pop too excited about that, Ben. It might get real uncomfortable. Would be my advice. This is the All Dodgers podcast, part of the Bleav Podcast Network, presented by FanDuel. We appreciate each and every one of you for hopping in here. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday night. As always, go Dodgers. And yes, still champs.